And I've sent an Italian salami to Coach Trinchieri. Yeah, that's true.
What's up, everybody, and welcome along to EuroLeague and Friends, your favorite podcast on everything you need to know about the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. We're a group of 9 ladies from the 9 different EuroLeague countries who are contributing every week to this show, and we're always in rotation, so 4 different girls every week. My name is Lisa Ramoshka, talking to you from Munich, Germany, and let's have a look at the rest of the squad today. We have from Vilnius, Lithuania, the incredible Asta Žukaitė. Asta, what's up?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Lisa. I'm just ready to dive into another week of EuroLeague action and drama. So much to talk about this time, I think.
100%. The double week was wild. Let's keep on with or moving with the introductions. From Tel Aviv, Israel, my girl, Shani Glad. How are you, girl?
Hey, Lisa. Hi, girls. I'm so happy to be here. I mean, the weather in Israel is fantastic. Unlike in Europe, the sun is out. So
Jealous?
Yes, I know. It's a great feeling. And obviously, EuroLeague is showing us great moments. Can't wait to talk about everything. And I'm happy to be with you, all of you. It's great. It's going to be great.
Thank you. And last but definitely not least, our Italian star, Giulia. Ciao.
I love the way that you're presenting me like that because Shani said like this. So why the gesture to me?
This gesture in Italian, we know what it is.
You know what it means?
Oh, I know. I guess I don't. I think it just means emphasis on everything.
No, this is how you express your emotions. Emotions. Always emotional.
Let me do just a little bit of Italian culture. It means what? What?
Oh,
what?
Really?
Shani, you should know this. You should
I know. I know. I want to say,
Oh
but
my
I'm
God.
scared to say a bad word. I don't know if we're allowed. So I'm just going to keep it to myself.
This
But
is
we
a
read
thing
on the
that-
same line.
This is a word that you can say. It's like, what? That's it. But by the way,
getting teached.
everything's okay in here. It's raining in Milan, but that's a normal thing. And I'm ready to start. So let's go, girls.
Let's go.
Okay, so let's go. Whenever I got a what, I know now. I know now. Sorry,
say
girl,
it to
about that.
Gordy. Say it to Gordy next time. Next time you have to interview him.
I will. But girls, let's look at the agenda for today. We will have a brief look at Barcelona, who have been bouncing back with one of the stars on the bench, but recently back. We'll have a look for sure. Bayern's up and down journey. I feel like that's going to be my little part. We'll look at Milan's situation for sure. And we can't go without having a look at what's going on in Kaunas and Belgrade, maybe a little bit of Paris too. But let's get this party started with Olympiacos' impressive double week, because of course we can't go without mentioning them. Let's have a look at they had a heartbeat win on the road against Baskonia, 101, 102, and an 86-96 against Real Madrid as well. They're not only leading the standings right now, but they're leading the league in assists as well, 21.2 in points, 88 points per game, 5th team in the 3-pointers made section, 2nd team in PIR, 2nd in free throws. They're just crazy right now, right?
Number 1 in everything. Yes, definitely. I mean, I feel like Olympiacos is the most fun team to watch at the moment. And not because, they have the stars, Vezenkov, Fournier, Mikisic, and, all that. I just feel like they're playing together. Alex said it in the last episode of teams that are playing clean, but I feel like the beauty of Olympiacos right now is that they're playing together, and you see it also off the court. Me as a sideline reporter, I always go and see and watch what's happening between the players, on the bench. And it's a beautiful thing to see the support and the synergy and the chemistry that is being, really present in their game. And like you said, Lisa, 21 assists. It can't go without notice. It's just a magnificent aspect of their game. And it just shows you how much they're playing for one another, how much they're playing off each other and not just focusing on, ISO situations. And it feels amazing to watch them. And, there's 7 wins in a row. It just goes to show you everything about the team. And again, Olympiacos is a thrilling team, and it's just great. It's great to have them the first one in the standings.
We can repeat again and again how competitive this EuroLeague season is, how unpredictable. But at the same time, we have one team which is dominating and remains the most stable team in this EuroLeague season. And yeah, they're holding the first spot in this EuroLeague standings, and I think they will remain here until the end of the regular season. They are the best. I think,
Okay.
Yes,
this is my prediction. They look the best at this moment.
they look the best. And if they keep playing the way they do, I mean, a lot of credit should go to the players, obviously, but also to Coach Bartzokas for creating this type of, of bond between the
Environment.
players. Yeah, this type of environment, exactly. Giulia. So, once everything is good with the team, so they're going to look great on the court as well. So I feel this is like the really important element of Olympiacos.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I kind of wanted to be like Vasiliki because she, yes, and I know that I say it. I know
Sure,
that I
I
say
always
it
want to be
because
like Vasiliki.
because I say that because in Italy I never can experience, or better in the past, in the latest past or something like that, I cannot experience something like that, but she can every time, because these two teams, Olympiacos, and I think they obviously you're going to talk about Pana too, they're not just from the same country, they're from the same city, so you can do all the things in basketball. You have the chance to see all these stars. You have the chance to see the fans in just one city. So, Vasiliki, if you're hearing me, sometimes we can switch. I really would like to.
I'll definitely be the one to switch with Vasiliki, with how my team is doing this season, okay?
And the weather, the food, and the city is crazy. Like, Vasiliki, we are so
Yes,
jealous.
we should be
She
invited.
said,
everyone.
shout out to our girl. And
Yes.
you guys already mentioned, how on the one hand, how Olympiacos is playing together as a team, but they do have this one, let's call him the star of the moment, at least the star of these weeks, Sasha Vezenkov. He's been overperforming in an insane way. 9 rebounds against Real as well. He's almost 67% on his 3-pointers. He's the top scorer in the league, number 1 player in PIR, number 5 player in total rebounds. He's rocking it too. Asta, maybe you have a take on Sasha Vezenkov's role this season with the team and for the league too.
Yeah, he's a marvel. Like he's like a Swiss watch.
I like that.
His ability to play off the ball and his efficiency make him one of the best EuroLeague players of all time. In fact, there have been suggestions in Lithuania to show Vezenkov off-ball movement for kids in school as an example how basketball should be played. So yeah, I also talked with people from NBA, and they said that those like last year gave him a lot. Like he became even a better player. Okay, like he saw just faster basketball, but also he put in a lot of individual work here. So now he's even better. Sometimes some players are built for European EuroLeague basketball, and others shine in NBA but struggles in Europe. So Vezenkov is perfectly designed for EuroLeague, and his basketball IQ is exceptional. And yeah, I've just tried to find the examples like other players with such a high IQ. Okay, it's Nikola Jokic, also maybe Šarūnas Jasikevičius, and no girls. What could be your examples?
Interesting.
Well-
So I was actually thinking of Jasikevičius, but looking at maybe the currently right now he hasn't been playing, but I'm a really big fan of Vladimir Lucic as well. He's a great leader on and off the court. He is so diverse, so creative with and without the ball. So that would be a big one. But I was also thinking about another coach. What do you guys think about Spanulis when we're
Of
talking
course.
about IQ?
Yes, definitely. That was my pick too, Lisa. That's what I was thinking. I mean, Spanulis, you can't not talk about his amazing basketball IQ for whatever he's done for the league, and now coaching Monaco. We've seen them kind of leveraging and creating themselves in a better situation. It's rightfully so because of him, because he's creating that type of atmosphere with his high basketball IQ, combining together with Mike James. I see them their pictures. They're such good buddies. I mean, they're hugging each other. I feel like also there the chemistry is amazing, and obviously Spanulis brings so much with his brains. And yeah, I would go to Spanulis right away.
But if you mention Spanoulis, you need and you probably must have to mention even the other one, Dimitris Diamantidis. And if
Oh,
you
wow.
and if you mention Greece, in my opinion, because he's my favorite playmaker ever, Juan Carlos Navarro. For me. For me.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's my picks.
Great guy, of course.
I miss watching him play. Definitely.
Me too. Me
he's
too.
just magnificent.
I've just been one time in Barcelona and obviously he wasn't playing anymore. And I was like in the Palau searching for him, but you don't know, but I cannot see without eyeglasses. So I was like,
Me too.
Next
and
time. Next
that
time.
happened. So Juan Carlos, if you're watching these like Vasiliki before, come and catch me.
Wow.
Let's see if it works.
But if we have to come back to that Vezenkov issue, like, from him being MVP, and we have to compare him, like, I just have to, this is like what I brought to this podcast, okay, for today. This is my MVP blanket right here.
Blanky. Oh, I like it. Okay.
Okay, first of all, obviously, every time I wake up in the morning, it's on me. So I wake up and I see MVP. So that's like kind of my mindset going in for every day.
I love
So
it.
maybe you should have it. Yeah,
Where did you get that?
I'll send you a link.
That's Shani mentality.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, like a queen, a king with MVP. But yeah, if going back to what you guys were saying about Vezenkov, and I mean, until like right now, the debate was whether he's the MVP or Kendrick Nunn. I mean, he's also way up there with breaking so many EuroLeague records. It's just, I feel like in the past couple of games, he hasn't been really impacting. I mean, we've seen what he's doing against both teams lately. 7 points, not really being, in his element. I don't know, maybe there's also a type of injuries that we don't know of, but I just feel like these two players, first of all, on the court, they're different. We're talking about a guard, we're talking about a forward. Yes. So Kendrick Nunn as a guard, I know it closely because my brother is a point guard as well. There's just so much load on being a point guard, not just creating for yourself, but creating for others and kind of also mentally.
Strategy.
Exactly. Organizing the game. So I feel like the physical toll on Kendrick Nunn right now is way higher on Vezenkov because Vezenkov is, is a different type of player. The way he moves on the court is that doesn't have to hold the ball for so much time, and he's just creating himself better situations. So for me at the moment, with the fatigue and how the season, is going, we're just talking about a double round weeks. I mean, it's crazy.
Heavy on everyone.
Lisa. Yes, you're going to talk about it probably also related to Bayern and stuff. But for me, I feel like he's Vezenkov with this type of playing, he's creating himself better situations. So I feel like he's down disputed MVP. I don't know, Giulia, do you think maybe differently than me?
Yeah,
or
but
Lisa?
do you feel like the conversation is over? Are you saying like in this particular week you would change the
I don't know,
award?
because it's a good question. But again, as the season goes along, it's just going to get more intense. And I feel like Panathinaikos is also putting so much, on Kendrick Nunn. Because, Pana right now in the standings are not as high as they were just, a couple of games ago. And it's showing because Kendrick Nunn is not, is not on his best performance. And I feel like I said before, taking back to Olympiacos' way of playing, they're playing together, and Sasha Vezenkov being phenomenal is just better and more impressive. And yes, for me, I will go with Vezenkov all the way until the end. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I just also have a really I cherish this guy from back in the days when he was playing for my dad in Olympiacos. I was always like, man, this guy is going to be something special. And I mean, it's showing.
I mean, no doubt. What do you girls think? Is the MVP debate kind of over, or will Kendrick Nunn come back and challenge what Shani says?
Yeah, it
Come
looks like
back.
it's over. But
Really?
it's over. No, yeah, it's last double week showed that Vezenkov is a true leader. We thought that Kendrick Nunn is the most unstoppable guy in this EuroLeague season, but now he struggled to maintain consistency. So, like Shani said, at this moment, looked like Vezenkov is number one.
He is number one in everything. Points, PIR. I mean, it's statistics also showing it. I mean, yeah, Giulia, you were saying like, no? Well, what? No, explain, what do you mean?
No, because
No, like,
well,
but
what
this is the time that you do this.
What are you saying? But I like the way that you say "macché" because it's
Okay.
another way of saying, but it's not an Italian culture lesson. I will go for Nunn. I totally love the way of playing, probably because I know that I'm repeating that, but I was a player and I always was looking for players like him or like playmakers or combo guard or guards. So for me, I totally will go with Kendrick Nunn because if you go back at the beginning of the EuroLeague, we all remember what he was doing and how good he was, how strong he was pushing, and how strong he was pushing for Panathinaikos team too. So for me, I will always go with Kendrick Nunn. And let me remember the fact that Sasha Vezenkov, in an interview that he did recently last week, he said that Kendrick Nunn deserves the MVP title. So I don't know
It's
if I said it just to say,
Giulia,
okay,
it's only
let's give it
because
to him. Let's give it to
it's
him.
only
I don't want
because you got to interview and ask him about the pasta, and he's a pasta guy, so that's why you're rooting for him. Be honest with us. Come on, don't hide it.
okay. Okay. Yeah, guilty. Guilty. Okay.
Well,
but
I
yeah.
mean, it's not hard to debate this double week, really, right? He had a really bad double week. Both games, he didn't perform at his best. But I don't think that the discussion is over yet, and I do think that one bad week should not define and will not define Kendrick Nunn's performance all the way across the entire league. So I'm not sure if I'm taking sides yet, but I'm ready to take on the discussion at a later point in
Yeah,
the
totally.
season again.
It's
Girls.
just fun. Gonna be
But, just as his performance, looking
Mhm.
at a couple of other teams, I feel like the term roller coaster is really applying to many things that have been happening and many teams as well. So maybe we can start the roller coaster ride with looking at Barcelona. Just looking throughout the entire season, they have really been struggling. It's been an up and down, not only in EuroLeague, but in the domestic league, they've been struggling. How have you guys been seeing them? What's your feeling for the team?
Yeah, like you said, it's a roller coaster team, which is struggling on the road, but they are very strong at home. Last double week, I was impressed how they're fighting. You saw their eyes like, okay, it was okay. I was impressed, but still, it's not an easy season. I just tried to count in December. They lost 7 of their 11 games. Now their standings only on the 8 positions in ACB League. It's very important. ACB League is very important, like EuroLeague in Spain. So it's gonna be very hard very complicated season for them. But I'm cheering. I'm always cheering for Barcelona more than Real Madrid.
And I mean, they have been struggling, and at the same time, Hernangómez has been sitting on the bench. How can a team like that, in a situation, in a fluctuating situation like that, afford to be benching one of their highest paid and most important players?
I find it really, really strange what is happening with Billy. He likes to be called Billy Hernangómez. That's what I know. The situation is very obscure. I mean, like, he's the highest paid player in Barcelona. To be benching your highest paid player in your team, it's kind of strange. But from what I've kind of been researching and asking, because it is a very curious topic to discuss, people have been saying that he hasn't been performing on his best defensive side. So I feel like, we see how important offense is in basketball, but eventually everything comes from the defense. So once a player is not being on point on this side of the court, I mean, he might not be filling in the right way for what coach wants and the system that the coach wants. So I haven't been hearing anything, personal between coach and Hernangómez, but I guess it's just a professional decision. I feel like statistic-wise, he's doing great stuff for the team. But, sometimes in basketball teams, you just have to think about what's better for the team. And Barcelona now is on a 4-winning streak. And players that are showing up on the court are doing a great job. So again, I feel like it's just a amount of situations and coach decision. But at the end of the day,
Yeah, of course, always.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we preparing for this episode earlier than the last game, and this topic is very interesting. like you said, he's not only the most expensive player in Barcelona, he's in top 10 highest paid players in all the EuroLeague. So it's quite strange to see him on the bench. So, like I said, we have so many podcasts in Lithuania, 100 podcasts. So one of
Everyone has
them,
something to say.
yeah, and they said that maybe the problem is his character, that he is quite arrogant guy. And when I heard
Really?
this, yeah, and I tried
That's
to
interesting.
speak with people who played with him or coaches who worked with him, and they said that it's not true. Like Willie is an elite teammate, like loved by everyone, Europeans, rookies, veteran. He's like a glue guy in the locker room. He's always positive. And last season was very tough, both for Hernangómez brothers. So Juancho had the health issues, so maybe Willie is dealing with something personal too. We just don't know, but the character is not a problem.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean,
Mm.
you can't
I-
you can't really trust gossip ever, because one
Never.
person had one encounter maybe with a guy and then goes, "Oh no, he's bad," or "Now we love him." But yeah, I guess we really have to keep an
just-
eye on
yeah,
me.
we tend to think that basketball players are just basketball players, but they're human beings. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously.
Asta, as you said, I mean, people in Zalgiris fans, they all think they're like commentators, and they want to say something about their team and other players, which is fine. Also, here in Israel, everyone is so critical and say what's on their mind. So I feel that type of mentality.
Exactly.
But so again, we just need to keep remembering that in the EuroLeague and what we're reading, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. So there's always can be different issues that a player is dealing with, and we have to take it into consideration. But again, once you're on the court, you got to show up. So let's see how it goes for him.
Giulia, your face, you're like, "Oh, okay."
You got to show
Julia's
up.
like,
I love
This is a
it.
very interesting discussion right here.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, because I love what you said. Once you're in a court, you have to show up. That's an easy thing,
Non-negotiable.
but it's not that easy. It's a
not.
vertical thing.
It's not really, but
Yeah, it's obvious. He's underperforming. He can be even much better, and maybe he will be. And Jimmy Zima too. I think I'm saying correctly. He is unstoppable now. So maybe there is the answer. Like he's stealing the minutes from Willie. Yeah.
again, it's all about what's good for the team, and whatever is working out is this type of rotation. But it's so dynamic; things can change all the time. For
Exactly.
Barcelona.
You have to
Yeah.
you have to adapt, you have to be flexible. And as
Mhm.
I said in the introduction to this Barcelona topic, it seems like a lot of the teams have been on a roller coaster ride. And actually, I don't remember who it was of you right now. You said they're performing pretty well at home. They have had their struggles on the road. And I actually, would like to point out that, by the way, home teams are 118 to 79 this season. So winning on the road is almost
Wow.
impossible for anyone, it seems, or super tough for everyone. And I feel like this just really undermines this roller coaster situation. Situations outside of your home court are so different. Belgrade, Greece, Turkey, they have this incredible fans adding an extra layer of pressure and stress, which was not the case in this double week for Bayern, I have to admit. And I have to sadly, kind of look back to what happened. Yeah, Giulia, what? What happened? Especially against Bologna. Oh my. It was a tough one over here, let me tell you this. But if we're being really nice to them, let's have a look at the stats at home right there. 11-2. 9-2 at home right now. 11 games, they lost 2. One was against Panathinaikos, and they were competitive. And I feel like it's okay to lose against the reigning champion. Bayern is not where Panathinaikos is at yet. They wish they were. They're not, and we know that. And the other game, if we're being honest, you can have one bad game at home, and that's what happened. Plus, they really left it all out on the court against Monaco. And if we're looking at the numbers, they made 61% of their 3-pointers against Monaco, 20 out of 33. And then I feel like they just didn't have it in their legs anymore to pull two tough games at home, and they only made 11 out of 41, which is like 27% against Bologna. Which brings me to the question, though, and that's, something we will just have to observe, I guess, until the rest of the season. But if Bayern's bench is deep enough, we know that the starting 5, 6, 7 are good enough and that they can be the best teams. For example, Olympiacos at home, if they're having a great day and if they're burying their threes. But pulling 2 tough games, I feel like they're just not there yet, and that they might have to, maybe adjust until the end of the season. I mentioned Lucic earlier. He could be a game changer for Bayern. He might be back. He's been practicing with the team now. And let's see if he will be back within the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I feel like that's really the game changer, or will be the key for Bayern, if they will be able to bring on the full bench and make the play-ins, or if they're going to struggle.
Totally. Just going back into the Virtus Bologna game. I don't know, because sometimes basketball is a very strange sport, but sometimes I think that motivation and what's going on into your locker room is more important than what's going on into your body, and in particular into your legs. So I think that Virtus Bologna really had the right motivation. I remember that I spoke with Bologna television, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're going to the SAP Garden. They never lose at home soil. So what are we going to do there?" I think that no one of the fans will go to Munich. So what's gonna happen?
They did have
But
a lot of fans out there.
I do not know, but the people from Bologna, they probably didn't know about the fact that some fans were going there. But there was a double round week, so they were coming from a loss in Kaunas. So they didn't know, but sometimes, as I said, motivations is more important than your legs. So from Bologna side, and from the other side, from Munich side, as you said, one bad game can happen because the season is so long. We just spoke about Rollercoaster, so it kind of can happen. Roller coasters, even when you're playing in your home soil, which is like a castle for you, it just can happen. And as you mentioned, Lucic is a player that can be glue guy. I know that
Definitely.
we used this word before, but he's one that mm, e- every time he plays, and every time he plays for Bayern, he always does its best. Like, I don't know, like the jersey he has, like the name that he has in front is more important than the name that he has behind. So I think it's a
That's
Oh,
very
beautiful.
I
I think
like
it's a
that
very
girl.
is a very team
Yeah.
player. So let's see what's gonna happen. I don't think that the bench is not deep, but with him
Okay.
coming back, something can happen. I remember, and I'm sorry that I'm gonna shut up. I remember at the beginning of the season, how Bayern was pushing hard. So why not keep it going like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would
Well,
like to
I mean,
add something that Bayern, Paris, and Zalgiris, these 3 teams were making a lot of noise and surprised Europe in the beginning of the season. Then later, like all these 3 teams got tough periods. Zalgiris is still in a slump. Bayern is
mhm.
still struggling on the road, and yeah, it's clear that they are not there we were in the beginning of the season. And Lisa, you know what? That Bayern Munich is certainly the team that Zalgiris and especially their fans are watching very closely as one of the main contenders for that spot in play-in tournament. So sometimes, like, it's Lisa, you on me.
Yeah, kind of.
This is how we're looking for Zalgiris and Munich Bayern.
So
You
we'll
and
have a head-to-head fight
Head-to-head.
until for
That's
the
gonna be
10th
cool to
seed.
watch. I'm
It's
willing
gonna
to
be
judge
Yeah.
this fight. No
Thrilla.
problem.
You remember
Yeah.
Thrilla
Yeah.
in Manila? Now it's gonna be Thrilla in, I don't know, Kaunas. Let's
EuroLeague
see.
and Friends. But actually, yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, I do see the standings, obviously, and I do have a close look on I don't want to say on Bayern's former coach, Trinchieri, and what you guys are doing. But I do think, and this might be a hot take now, that, obviously, Zalgiris is more focused on a defensive system, and Bayern focuses or relies on their threes, like on a good day of Edwards, Obst, and maybe some of the big guys like Folkman having a really good day, Booker burying the threes there. But I do think that on a good day, if both teams have a good day, Bayern would advance. Don't you
because of
think?
their offense.
Yeah, because however good your defense is, what do you want to do against shooters like Edwards and Ulbs?
Right, but once you make defensive stops, I mean, that's obviously the biggest challenge for Zalgiris if we're talking about those two teams. But Zalgiris has been like one of the most incredible defensive teams all season long, and we've seen it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup, and I don't know who I'll be rooting for. I mean, both teams. I love you girls both, so I don't want to be taking sides with this one.
Let's talk
That's
about
fine.
Žalgiris more.
Yeah,
Let's
because-
talk about
yes,
Žalgiris and
Please
what's
go
happening
ahead,
with Žalgiris.
Asta.
Yeah, they're struggling a lot, and it's like their games like watching the bad habits play out again and again, like the same show, like like you're watching the same show but hoping for a different ending. Like it's always they are starting very strong, hitting those threes, but then shaky finishes, and most of the game ends in a loss. Okay, they won against Virtus, but I can't remember the last time when a victory came with so much negative feedback. After the win, it felt like it was a loss instead. So it's like a deja vu. It's like you're almost waiting for that fourth quarter collapse, and usually it comes. So this is the picture how we are watching the games right now, because it's always the same scenario. Yeah, and Trinchieri, of course, Trinchieri.
I was just about to pinch you into that direction because we spoke about this earlier, and you have a strong opinion on Coach AT.
No, he's got a lot of criticism about how he rotates players, and it's like a snowball effect. It's growing in Lithuania. That criticism is growing and growing in Lithuania. From what I know, players definitely feel frustrated, because knowing your minutes, knowing your role, it's a big deal. As a player, you just want to feel secure, and you don't have this in Žalgiris now. So yeah, especially like one or two mistakes on the court can cost you the place on the bench. It's and about how he rotates the players. Like in one game, one player might not even be registered, and in the next one, he's starting. So this is how everything is going. You cannot understand the lineups. And our colleague, Jonas Miklovas, he's from Basket News. He's trying to count, and he got a very interesting statistics that no other team in the EuroLeague come close to Žalgiris in terms of how often they change their lineup.
The rotation.
So every time it's changing.
I feel like maybe coach is just trying to find solutions to make the team more consistent. I mean, I don't know Trinchieri personally, but sometimes from what I know of basketball, once you're not very, consistent, and you're trying to find the best, rotation to bring better results. But I wanted to ask you about Lonnie Walker, because, he came in as, the guy everyone was hyped over, with his skills coming from...
you were hyped too, Asta. I remember us in the episode here.
So I want to see how is it looking right now for him, because he's been having some good games but also some off games. How is all the commentators in Žalgiris looking at him right now?
The situation changed a lot, and Lonnie Walker game in EuroLeague changed a lot. Yeah, at first people thought that he would be a star and the leader, and now everything looks very different. You can hear that saying we don't need him anymore, but just 1 month ago, the hype was so huge, and I still, of course, I still believe in him. But like you said, the fans are always the fans, and it's normal. They are disappointed right now, and just some say that his arrival just messed up the team. But the true is, that the key players, they lost their rhythm. I think that's true. But one more, like the biggest issue about Lonnie Walker, he's not aggressive anymore. Maybe it's because of his injury. I heard that he got some pain, but he's almost never drives to the basket. So always 3 points instead of...
you could definitely see that in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
He's probably, taking... Again, going back to the fatigue, discussion. EuroLeague is bringing us double rounds, and players are getting tired. We don't know everything, so
Yeah,
we
so
might see.
yeah, it's true. And also, I don't know, maybe Lisa, you can add something about Trinchieri. He used to work in Germany. We all know that his ego is very big, so everything depends of his decisions. Yeah, and he got a lot of criticism, not about his rotations, but also about sometimes his character, his conflict with journalists, his big ego. But and by the way,
Interesting.
he is the most expensive coach in Zalgiris history. So Zalgiris got a new extension for him last summer. So yeah, he earns almost $1 million in one season. So it's more than Spanoulis in Monaco, for example.
Yeah, but
Well,
like
Spanoulis
Spanoulis
is
is more
just
of a
starting
rookie.
out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Life is expensive in Italy.
Life is expensive. It's true.
Also here, back home, Tel Aviv was picked the most expensive city. I think it was last year. Yeah, but it's expensive.
Yeah, but let's have a brief look at Trinchieri. Of course, I have worked with him for 3 years over here in Munich, and of course, he's a special character. He's very outgoing. He's very out there, and I would say he's very demanding. He can tire a whole squad and a whole staff because he wants everything. He asks everything from you. You can't not give 200% in 1 second. You're going to be out. You're going to have a problem with him. And I can imagine that this is not easy for a lot of people. And, just looking back at his career, he doesn't stay long with teams. I feel like
That's true.
they go all out together and then it has to end because nobody has more in them to keep going on that level and on that intensity. So yeah, maybe it's just not a match. I don't know, from like a personal standpoint. It could be like a cultural thing. I don't know. Giulia, you probably know him even better, right? He's big in Italy.
Yes, yeah, totally. He's big. And I was listening to you, but let me just say one thing, because in Italy, in our wildest dreams, we would have Trinchieri as a coach of one of our team in Italy. Really, he was considered, after Tokyo Olympics, he was considered one one of the coach that needed to coach the Italian national team. So we in Italy, we have a huge respect for him. And then I don't know him personally, but I know that he's like a showman. And probably in Lithuania, you're so used to have kind of, pass me the term, serious people, serious coach. Obviously, Trinchieri is a serious one.
I mean,
but
he's serious. He's not playing.
No, I will try to say it better. But you want someone totally in focused on the court and what's happening with the players and into the locker room, in the training and something like that. But Trinchieri, it's that type of coach, but not only that type of coach. Before joining you in Zalgiris, he was working with the Italian national championship, with the league, doing interviews. He was working as a technical commentator. So that's why I'm saying that he's a showman. And
Yeah.
let's just
I would have loved
remember.
to see that. I can imagine that being ridiculous.
And he's a showman. Do you remember
Hilarious.
when he gave the bottle of wine to that journalist? And I was a girl that sent him in Zalgiris, or I don't remember when, but one of my colleagues was coming to see one of his games because they are friends, and I've sent an Italian salami to Coach Trinchieri. Yeah, that's true. And another thing, he's a very, very
he's wild.
smart. That's true. That was a secret, not anymore. He's so smart. So I know that probably you in Lithuania, you want we have the tradition, we have the players, we have the team, so we want the results. But listen to me, that's the receipt. You need to have patience, because remember that this coach has a very high IQ in basketball. He
Yes.
discovered in his first year of his career a player named Kyle Hines. And yes, I know that they signed the contract in a McDonald's, and I don't know if you know that. And that's
No,
How
I
true.
not
did not.
surprising of him.
Huh?
So
And
Trinchieri.
that's true. That's true, that happened. But look at what Kyle Hines is. And obviously, Kyle Hines cannot be that kind of player just from being coached by Andrea Trinchieri at the beginning of his career, obviously. But the Star Wars there was with him. So be patient and be kind with
Okay.
him.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
let's
have
see.
him.
We
We're
can
gonna
just
have
say-
not only for this season but the next season. So
True,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
re-signed
Yes,
him. Yeah,
exactly.
and I mean, I understand. He's a tough personality, but he can really bring crazy results. And I mean, you're still in the race for the play-ins, right? I'm not sure if that was in Zalgiris's cards at the beginning of the season. So
Exactly.
maybe you
not.
just have to, I don't know, get to
Push
know
your
each
way
other a little
through.
bit better. But maybe we can stay in Italy a little bit more, Giulia, and have a look at what Milan, Emporio Milano, has been doing.
The answer is I don't know, or better, I know what's gonna happen. And we were talking about domestic league. They just lost in our domestic league against Venice, and Venice is a Euro Cup team. But the most important thing is that probably they lost key players, because at the press conference after the game in Venice, they saw, or better, sorry, Coach Messina said that they need to see what was going to happen with the best players that they have, like Nikola Mirotic, because he was suffering a muscular problem, and Zaki, because they don't know yet, but probably he's going to have a serious injury or serious problem with his shoulder.
That's a shame.
So if you don't have two of your best players in that moment of EuroLeague and in that moment of the Italian Championship, like Nikola Mirotic and Zaki, because they were playing like every time they were like the MVP number one and the MVP number two in the interviews and into the games that I was in, and maybe in all the other games on the road. So you don't have those two players, and you don't have Josh Nebo because he's out for 4 months, and Zaki was playing as a 5. So now who's gonna play? Who's gonna play into the
Yeah.
paint?
And as you were saying, Lisa, also about rotation and situation with who's coming off the bench to help the team, like in Bayern, Milan is probably in the same situation right now. I mean, there's Coach Messina has a lot to think about and how to adjust, for the team to kind of keep holding themselves above the water. But maybe we can just say something, because what happened in Milan, I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about Milan. Give me the honors to talk about Partizan and what happened with the crowd over there, because we just have to, pay small attention.
Bless the fans.
Wow. I mean, what happened there with the Partizan fans was just a spectacular sight. I mean, during the game,
Regular season game.
Exactly.
I mean, the Serbian fans are just wild. Like, probably, girls, it was all over the news what happened when players came back from, in the airport, and 5 a.m. in the morning, it was like they won the EuroLeague or something. I don't know. It was just crazy. Like, the Serbian fans, like, I mean, they're just incredible.
I must say I'm jealous. I mean, I
Me
told you
too.
before that the crowds in Germany are, let's say, still growing into their role of supporting.
Yeah.
By the way, Toko Shengelia, he said that the SAP Garden was one of the best atmospheres that he's
I
ever
heard.
played in. I would have never imagined that anyone to say about a German crowd. But yeah, I think it's incredible. And it really shows like how much impact fans can have, and like the fan-team relationship on the team's performance.
Yes, Partizan fans are number one. But, we know Serbians. It's in their blood,
It
to
is in their
be-
blood.
and to support their team. And that what gives energy to the players to perform this way also against Milan. I'm sorry,
But-
Giulia.
But
No
where else
problem.
but where else in Europe you can see some kind of fans? Nowhere. I think only Partizan they have.
Well, the Greek fans are going strong.
All we can say is the Serbian derby is going to be fire. That's for
And
sure.
why is that, Shani? And why is that? Tell us all about
know.
it, Rockstar.
Well, I got, the amazing opportunity to be hosting the Belgrade Derby, and it's just a phenomenal opportunity. I'm so happy and I can't wait. I'm probably not going to be able to hear anything, but I have a really good squad with me, and it's just
Yes.
going to be an incredible occasion, and I'll be just absorbing the entire atmosphere. So I can't wait.
You'll be fine. We're all cheering for you, all 9 of us,
Thank
for
you.
sure, or 8 of us,
Go,
obviously.
girl. You are the
And we
best.
know that every game matters, girl. So let's move on to our very last part of the show. We would have to discuss a little bit. I know it's early on in the season, but let's have a look at Final Four predictions. I already did mine last episode. It was both both Greek teams. I said Fener, and I had the lucky winner in there. I said Paris is going to make it. What about you girls? Maybe we can make just a quick round, not too many long explanations. Explanations.
Lisa, I'm with you on that. I'll have the 2 Greeks and the Turkish team, because you always have to have a Turkish team in the Final Four.
And
But
Sharas.
the only and exactly.
Okay.
Sharas. I love Sharas. And the only switch, a change I would make is for me it will be the other French team, Monaco.
That's what most of the other girls said too. I'm hoping for more tension there, I guess.
I think we're gonna have one surprise, so I'm going with Olympiacos, Monaco, Fenerbahce, and Paris. Okay, so two surprises because I'm going with Paris, and that means that Pana is out in my predictions.
Damn.
And so yeah,
That's crazy.
You've been
I
loving
was
Paris
thinking-
since day one, so
yeah.
you know,
Since day
you're
one,
a
Paris. I
fan.
love fairy tale, so I'm still cheering a lot for that club. Maybe not, if not them, so maybe it's okay. It's Pana, but I just want that one surprise. I think that we're gonna have surprises.
Few times ago, I was saying that we will have surprises in those final four. But actually, if I look at the standing and if I look at what is happening, I would say the 2 Greeks, so Pana and Oli. And for what is happening, probably Fenerbahce. And the last spot, actually, that was my surprise spot. But I don't know, because probably Monaco really deserves it. But the first time that I was doing those predictions, I was kind of saying that that lucky loser spot or that, I don't know, surprise spot or whatever could be to, like, for some teams like Bayern. I really thought that Bayern could be in the final four. Not Paris, not
that's
Milan,
a big
not
take.
Expectations.
Best,
Yeah.
I
I mean, I
don't
just
know.
watched their documentary series. They have an internal documentary series. It's called The Huddle, and I just saw this morning Gordy saying, "My vision for this season is the German Championship and the Final Four," with his soft voice. So let's
You do
see.
well.
Let's see who will be right at the end of the season, girls. But first of all, let's have a look at round 23, because obviously all the teams that we just mentioned are not only our Final Four predictions, but also in round 23 for sure. The rivalry series game of the week will be Olympiacos against Fenerbahce. So definitely make sure to tune into that one. We have
a
other
big one.
interesting matchups. The German derby, not sure if that's going to be so fiery and crisp, but Alba against Bayern, you will be able to watch that one too. Pau is welcoming Zalgiris at home. Let's see how the rotations will work. Efes will have Milan at home. Giulia, you will have to be all eyes on Efes and Milan right there, as well against Barca, Virtus against Monaco. And of course, you can watch all these games on EuroLeague TV or your local broadcaster if you prefer that. That's it for now from our side. We're so happy not only that you girls participated. Again, thank you so much to all the different countries in the world, but of course that everyone in the audience bared with us. Don't forget to watch the rivalry series game for sure. Make sure to watch this show. You can comment, you can subscribe, you can like. Make sure to reach out. We would love to get in touch. And that's new. You can listen to EuroLeague and Friends on all podcast platforms now. So
That's amazing.
you have no excuse not to be with us. Follow our social media platforms and all the stuff. You know what to do. Thank you so much for bearing with us today, and see you again next week.
Ciao.
Ciao.